Alright guys, just a little lesson here on how I do my flocking. I'm about to take the flocking powder and just carpet the inside of the trunk of the Fiero. Fieros in this model year of 1985, same as 84, came with either a gray or a black carpet. This one I'm going to do in gray. So what you always want to do when you start flocking is first paint the area you want to flock in a color that's very similar to the flocking powder you're going to be using, as it'll help hide any spots that you may miss or that may come out a little thin. Then you want to get yourself a nice plate or something to catch all of the extra flocking, because it's going to go everywhere. It's not the neatest procedure in the world. Now what I like to use is Mod Podge matte. You don't want the shiny so that it doesn't give a gloss coat underneath the matte material, as that'll take away from the realism of the carpet. So Mod Podge makes a great glue. It's a matte finish, so it'll be flat, and it won't give you a shiny coat coming up underneath the carpeting. Now, what I do is take a little bit of flocking powder and put it in my sifter. Very important tool when doing flocking, as this is how you're going to spread the flocking into the part you're going to flock. This is all in real time right now. I'm going to put quite a bit of it into the sifter. Some people use a tea sifter. This one is, I don't even know what the original purpose of this sifter was. I just kind of found it in the kitchen. Now you're going to take, it's a very simple procedure. Take your Mod Podge. Hold on just a second. Now I gotta grab another pair of glasses. You can follow me through the whole procedure here. Okay, I am back now. Now, what you're going to do first is you're going to paint and put a little water in the Mod Podge. And then what you're going to do is you're basically just going to paint the areas that you want to flock with the Mod Podge. So that when you apply the flocking, it'll stick to these areas and nowhere else. I generally like to do a small area at a time, and it allows you to control it a little better. And make sure that the glue is only going where you want it to, as the flocking is going to stick to anything and everything that has glue on it. Now for larger areas, I like to use a larger brush, as it helps to coat more evenly, and I use a smaller brush when I need to be a little more delicate. Since the trunk is a small area, I'm just going to go ahead and apply the glue to the entire trunk. Because just like in the real car, It's a very small trunk, as most mid-engine cars don't generally have a lot of luggage space. So as you can see, very simple. Just apply the Mod Podge everywhere you can, or everywhere you need it, avoiding areas that you don't. Okay, now once your Mod Podge is applied, let's clean our brushes off. Then all you're going to do is sift the carpeting material into the trunk. As I said, it's not the neatest job in the world, but the results are definitely worth it. And if you're going to do this, do it away from everything else you're building, as this stuff is going to get everywhere and you'll be cleaning it out forever. This flocking from Model Car Garage is very light and covers very well, as there is a difference in the quality of your flocking powder. As I've used some that it's very clumpy, the fibers are much larger than what's needed for scale. Always make sure you clean your brushes off, otherwise you'll ruin some good brushes. There we go. Now we let it sit for a second, then all you're going to do is tap off the excess. I'll just do it right there. And while trying not to drop the piece you're working on. And as you can see, we have a nice carpeted coating here. See if we can get you a good look at that there. Let's line it up with the camera. And now we have a fully carpeted trunk. I'm going to give it just another little dusting just to catch any areas that may have if you can, you might want to try and mat it down a little bit, which is a little difficult considering I can't really get into the trunk to mat it down, but we're going to give it a try just to make sure it sticks itself. Right to all the surfaces. Then you clean your brush off, get all those fibers off the brush. And now we'll tap off the excess again. And as you can see, now we have a fully carpeted trunk. It's really that easy. So if you ever thought about doing it, I'm going to have to apply a little bit more, as I can see a couple of bald spots. But if you've ever thought about doing it, it really works well. It just means you're going to have a lot of cleanup to do when you're done. So it is a little messy, but it's worth it. Just for the results. Now, when you're doing your little touch-ups, you may have to apply a little bit of extra glue in certain areas. You just have to be careful when you apply it to make sure that it doesn't clump up anywhere. Let me see if I can just mat it down a little bit. I'm going to make sure I don't lose what's already there. As I've only got a few areas where I really have to reapply a little more glue. Back to the Mod Podge. This is where the thin brush comes in really handy. There we go. Gonna touch up there. One of the things you have to worry about is to make sure that you get to it before the glue dries. Just to make sure that it's gonna stick.